Hi guys, I've been wanting to make this video for a while and I've been trying to film for the past 3 days, but things were not working out because I was trying to film from the outside. Because my channel is called Stroller Walk Talks, but my baby suddenly decided that she no longer enjoys stroller walks. I guess it's because it's cold outside. So I gotta do it at home. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I've been wanting to make this video for a while because no one really prepares you for the end of pregnancy. Everyone talks about the labor and the pain in labor and delivery, and they don't even say all the details about the delivery, but I really want to dive into this more because I think it's very interesting since almost no one really talks about the before labor starts, that part of pregnancy. I would love to share my experience with you. The last few weeks of my pregnancy were a lot. Physically, I was exhausted. Everything was in pain. Everything hurt. There was so much pressure, but mentally, I was feeling even worse. I was literally done. I was constantly overthinking about everything that you can imagine. Braxton Hicks and real contractions. Oh my god, there was so much confusion about those two. Every day I was asking myself, is this it? I was having what I know now is Braxton Hicks, but every time I would feel that pain or like pressure, I was like, maybe I should go in the hospital, maybe it's starting, maybe this, maybe that. But no. Braxton Hicks felt real enough to scare me, but not consistent enough to actually go to hospital. What made it super hard is me not knowing the difference because it was my first pregnancy. And even though I was reading a lot regarding pregnancy, labor and delivery and everything, still you gotta experience it to know it all, because all this theory, it's of course it helps, but it's really hard mentally. Real contractions, of course, are different than Braxton Hicks. Now I know that, as I'm almost 8 months postpartum. Actually, tomorrow my baby turns 8 months old. Can't believe that. But back to the topic. Contractions have pattern. And even though I didn't fully feel contractions, I'll go there in a bit. I still felt like Braxton Hicks were almost real contractions. In the end of pregnancy, there was a time I thought that my water broke. That's funny because it didn't until this day. I have no idea what that was. Maybe it was a little bit of discharge, maybe pee, which nobody really talks about. I mean, it's still a bit embarrassing, but come on, like, pregnant women go through a lot and things happen and it's fine. But at the time, I thought that maybe my water broke. But hell no, my baby wasn't planning to come out just yet. It was all so stressful. I couldn't wait for my baby to finally come out. I wanted to meet her so badly. I was also so tired physically. I was like, I cannot take this anymore. My legs were in pain. My feet were in pain, especially the right one. I just could not take it anymore. Oops, my baby just woke up. I don't know what she's doing. On top of everything, workplace gave me really hard time. It's not only the workplace, I think it's the whole country, the way it's designed. It's designed for pregnant women to work, but not to go on maternity leave. Regarding the work, yeah, I used to work till 38 weeks of pregnancy, and it was really, really hard. I was trying to go on maternity leave. I believe I was 38 weeks pregnant or so, 37, 38. And they gave me really hard time. It's really a lot to talk about regarding the workplace, and it definitely needs a whole another video. So I'll definitely uncover that in a bit. For now, I really want to talk about just before labor started, that part of pregnancy. And just because of the work and just in general, like the hormones were making me feel bad, and the physically I was feeling terrible. So everything just made me feel bad. And the last 2 weeks of my pregnancy were probably the hardest. It was so stressful. I was an emotional wreck. I was feeling terrible. I was having full breakdowns. I was crying so much. I was crying like a little baby. I don't know, if my husband wasn't this supportive, what would happen to me. I was literally on an emotional roller coaster. I was feeling terrible. It was just a constant emotional cycle. I even reached a point where I was like, I cannot do this anymore because of how emotionally bad I was doing, how physically terrible I was feeling. It was like, all right, I need to stay home. I cannot work anymore. Work gave me a really hard time to stay at home because apparently being 38 weeks pregnant is not a valid reason to stay at home, and you need to break a leg or you need to actually deliver the baby so you have enough reasons to stay home. It was a little crazy. I had amazing OBGYN at first, like at the beginning of pregnancy. But then apparently she was also pregnant and I had no idea about it. And she went on maternity leave, so I had to change my OBGYN, and there were like 8 different OBs on practice, and I got transferred to another one. I got super sad because I really liked my first OB and I wanted to stay with her, and I cried a lot. Again, hormones. Got transferred to another one, and he was fine, but they didn't assign me a particular OB. I was seeing 3 different ones at the same office. I got asked if I wanted to get induced or not, and I was like, hell no, 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 I don't want to get induced, no way. He was like, all right, I'm just letting you know because if you decided later, I might not have time slot for you because everybody's making appointments now. It's either now or never, like you decide. I was like, no, I'm sure I don't want to get induced. Well, guess what? I reached 39 weeks of pregnancy and I went to my OB. He was not there. I saw another OB out of those 3 and was like, please, I really want to get induced. If I don't break waters till 40 weeks, then maybe after 40 weeks, I really want to get induced because I don't want to wait any longer. It's just getting harder and harder for me and just can't take it anymore. And she was like, let's set an appointment. So I was like, all right, yay. But I really thought that I wouldn't have to wait till 40 weeks and something to deliver the baby. I was thinking maybe she's gonna come out sooner than that, but no, she wasn't planning to come out just yet. No, no, no. So I was 40 weeks and I believe 5 days pregnant when I had my induction appointment. And once my appointment day came, all day I was just cleaning. My appointment was, I believe, at 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. I forgot. I think it was at 8 p.m. And before the appointment all day, I knew that time's gonna go very slow because like I'm literally waiting for this time, and like the more you wait for some certain hour, the slower the time goes. So I decided to start cleaning, and I was cleaning a lot. I deep cleaned the whole apartment. My husband was at work and he got at home and he just took me and we went to the hospital. I remember that we were waiting there, just sitting for like an hour or so. I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen to me? Oh my God, oh my God. Like I was so nervous. I was seriously thinking all the crazy ideas I had on my mind. Finally, they took me in the delivery room and the delivery room didn't look bad. It was fine, you know. For my husband, there was a little sofa Probably very uncomfortable, but hey, I was the one that was uncomfortable. I was the pregnant one that was about to deliver a whole baby. As much as nervous I felt, I was also feeling super relieved because of it was finally happening and I could not wait for that. And I was literally waiting for that day whole 9 months, and even before that, even before I got pregnant, I was like, I need my baby. I want to be a mom. Labor definitely was not what I expected it to be. First of all, I had the birth plan with me, and I was seriously considering following this birth plan. A lot of things on my birth plan I changed in the last minute because of how much I didn't care about them anymore. I just wanted the baby out right away. I was thinking maybe I should go without epidural, but as soon as I got there and they asked me if I'm okay with it or not, I was like, where is the epidural? Get me epidural. Like, I was also concerned a little bit because I've heard all the bad things about epidural, that it just gives you backache for the rest of your life. And there were like a lot of females that were talking about how epidural just messed their back so much. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to feel pain. I was not prepared, even though I thought I was, but I was not fully prepared for the pain. And I was like, all right, maybe I should get an epidural. Anesthesiologist came in, and I already knew how long the epidural syringe looks, but I was like, do I really want this in my back? It's gonna hurt so much. But at the same time, I was like, is it easier to take this pain or the labor pain? I was like, hell yeah, get me epidural. I told them that my main concern was that I didn't want to feel paralyzed. I wanted to feel my legs. I wanted to be able to just move my legs around even if I didn't have to stand up. So I told them to get me the lowest dosage, and they got me the lowest dosage, and I did feel my legs, which was great. We did Foley balloon, and then we did also a catheter for the urine. Honestly, I don't know which one was worse. Probably the urine catheter. It was really the most uncomfortable and painful, and it left some kind of pain even afterwards for a long time. They put me on Patterson, so the induction started. The whole induction process took around 17 hours, which is kind of a lot. Whole night I was just there. I could sleep because I didn't really feel any pain. I wasn't feeling anything at all. I was super comfortable. I was even watching movies and TV shows and just chit-chatting with my husband, and I was on my phone. I was talking with my family, sending pictures back and forth. I was just like having fun. Seriously, like I didn't feel any negative feeling at all. I was super excited, and because of the excitement, I could not fall asleep. And at one point, my husband fell asleep because like there was nothing happening. He was like, might as well take a nap. And I was like, yeah, go for it, because like I'm fine. I'm watching TV, like I don't care. Then I was trying to fall asleep. I was closing my eyes, but every, I don't know, 5 minutes, the nurses were coming in and they were like, okay, how are you feeling? Do you need this? Do you need that? And they also brought me some food, which was just chicken broth. And I was like, no, please, I'm vegan. I don't eat this. Could you please accommodate? And they were like, yeah, sure. And then they got me mushroom broth, some kind of soup. It was actually delicious. I was starving, so like anything and everything would at one point feel delicious because I hadn't eaten for a really long time. I was 10 centimeters dilated at the 17-hour mark, and they were like, all right, are you ready? And I was like, I'm not sure. I was super stressed. Like, I didn't know what was coming. I mean, of course, I knew that I was gonna push, but I didn't know how hard that would be. Midwife came in, even though Marceline, she's so cute. So I was told my OB was gonna come to help me deliver the baby, but she was nowhere to seen, and the midwife came in. She was quite, how can I say, like a rough lady. She was probably in her 60s. There were definitely moments when I felt so much stronger, and there were moments when I felt like I cannot do this anymore. The whole pushing lasted for 2 hours, which is a lot, I think. But as she said, for the first time delivery, it's actually good. But I'm sure that she lied to me. I don't know. I have this feeling that she lied to me because 2 hours pushing, I don't even know how the whole 2 hours flew by. I have no idea. Even if I ask my husband, that's what he says, because he said that time went super fast. I remember the hardest moment was the ring of fire. This is like the intense feeling when the baby's head stretches vagina. It was really hard, but it made me even stronger, I think, because I was like, all right, this is my time now. I need to shine. I need to continue pushing. I need to be better at this. And every time I would push, the midwife would tell me something like, is this it? This is all you can do? Yeah, I'm sure you can do better. What is this? But I'm not complaining about it, because the more like that she was talking to me, the more I wanted to push harder. Well, yeah, it worked. And the baby's head was out, and it was a like a relief. I really didn't feel pain. It was just very uncomfortable feeling, and the ring of fire did really burn. Overall, it was still not as bad as I expected, I think. But at the time, I remember my thoughts. The only thing that I've thought about, okay, now I understand why some people willingly choose to do C-section. Even though I'm sure that C-section is no easier than vaginal delivery. But, you know, like everybody thinks that whatever they don't have at the moment is easier. It's better. You know, that's what I was thinking. But overall, the whole time I was pushing, all I could think about was whatever this lady, the midwife, had to say, because I was so locked in, I could not think or do anything else. There was a moment when my husband told me that I am the bravest or the strongest, or he gave me some kind of compliment. I don't remember what exactly he said, but it was some kind of compliment. And I looked at him for a second, and I was like, I don't want to be looking at you right now. I don't like you at the moment. I think I felt jealous of how he couldn't experience all this uncomfortable feeling, and I was the only one that was going through that. And of course, it's stupid to think, and it was just in the moment I was feeling really down, and at the same time the strongest than ever. But overall, I am still super duper grateful that my husband went with me, and he was there whole time. He didn't leave me alone even for a second when I had to ask for something and I was feeling either shy or just not strong enough to ask questions. He was there helping me all the time. He was my second voice. He was my guardian angel. He was my everything. And overall, even in the moment that I didn't like to see him because I was suffering, and he was not like physically, but mentally, of course, he was also super stressed and worried. I overall still think that it's great to have your partner with you during the delivery. because the way they can help you emotionally, it's unmatched. I think this whole experience made us get even closer, and yeah, I'm endlessly grateful for my husband. So then she was born, my baby Marceline, and suddenly everything just disappeared. Nothing mattered anymore. They put her on my chest right away. We were doing skin to skin for like an hour. We started lactation right away. It was the weirdest feeling that I felt at first, because obviously I never felt such feeling ever. They took me in our room. It was a shared room, but there was nobody else besides us. And the one thing that nobody really prepares you is after delivery, you cannot really sleep, you cannot really rest, you cannot really heal. You need to take care of the baby. I was so exhausted. I was so emotional, and also at the same time emotionally drained. I was just in shock. But at the same time, I was just staring at Marceline. I was like, wow, you're here. You're finally here. Like, I can finally hold you. I can finally see your face. But yeah, first days of postpartum are intense. While your body needs time to recover, you need to take care of the baby. I really wanted to nurse, but for some reason, I think she was not latching properly. Even the lactation specialist came in and they were like teaching me a bunch of things, and they were huge help. First day, first night was the hardest of all. Probably postpartum is harder than actual pregnancy and labor and delivery. Yeah, it was hard to sit, it was hard to lay down, it was hard to stand up, it was hard to walk, everything was hard, couldn't move properly. First time going in bathroom, I remember that it was so stressful, but it was not painful as other people say. I was expecting it to be super painful. The hardest thing is probably sleep, because I was through a lot for total of 19 hours of labor and delivery. And I still could not sleep because baby needed me. And why I'm saying me is because I was the one that needed to nurse, and I was not prepared. I didn't have colostrum. It would be the best thing if I had it with me, but I didn't, and now I know what I would do for the next time. It's good to have some kind of extra, because what happened in our case is that the baby ended up crying a lot. And again, I don't know why she was crying so much, but the nurses came in and they felt a little bit annoyed, I think, and they were like, can't you see that baby is hungry? You need to feed the baby formula. And I really had no strength to fight, because the baby was nursing for 50 minutes on each side. We ended up giving her formula while I was still working on my milk supply, and I was pumping a lot, because it was very important for me that I didn't want my baby to be on formula. But my nipples were literally cracked, in so much pain because she could not latch properly. And again, if she latched properly, I wouldn't have any of these issues. So pumping really helped, because after like a week or 10 days max, stop. After like around 10 days, I started having milk supply. She's being exclusively breastfed. Everything I just talked about, yeah, I know it sounds very hard, but at the same time, looking back, yes, it was super hard, but at the same time, I'm still considering that I might have a second baby, I might have a third baby, who knows? So, since I'm thinking like that, it means that it was not that bad, since I'm willing to go through that again. So I don't know. I think I had a pretty positive labor, delivery, whole pregnancy. And again, I'm very grateful to that. If you're watching this, being pregnant, I want you to know that you are stronger than what you think. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and please subscribe and like my videos because it actually helps me so much and motivates me to create more honest videos like this. Now I'm gonna go and take care of my baby because she clearly needs my attention. Bye bye.